Hey there, my flesh and blood friends. So I thought we'd do something a little different and hopefully a little fun today. I had my camera set up for unboxing of Aria, as well as a product that will come later this month that we'll be featuring. And before I took it down, I was like, hey, you know what? Let's have some morning coffee and let's go through the Blitz decks that I'm currently playing. So I want to go through the 3 Blitz decks that I'm currently playing with you and just sit and chat, and hopefully you like it. A huge shout out to our channel members for supporting what we do here. If you want to get involved with the channel and the Dice Commando community, please consider joining as a channel member. Remember, these videos are only possible with your support. You can show that support with a like, a subscribe, and by leaving us a comment and sharing your feedback. Community first, and go Commando. Hey there, my fab friends. Thanks for checking in. Hopefully a fun one today. You know, we don't do paper stuff enough. It's way too easy to just pull up a website and go through that. And for those of you who don't know, the channel is actually founded on paper play, bringing back the realness of paper play, or dice rolling as it may have been, which just isn't the same when you use a program. So I thought it might be cool to just sit and go through stuff in paper to show that I actually have it, and it's not just some Talishar type thing. So we're going to start off with Dorinthea, Quicksilver. See, I'm already dropping stuff all over the place. There we go. Start with Dorinthea, Quicksilver Prodigy. Obviously one of my favorite heroes. Blitz, run Dawnblade Resplendent, because why the heck would you not? Then we've got Valiant Dynamos, Crown of Providence, Courage Blade Hold, and Braveforge Bracers. A lot of times I pull this out these days, and people are like, oh, you're not on Grains. And I'm like, no, I'm not on Grains, because if I have an agility token, I can pop Courage of Blade Hold, and I can swing Dawnblade Resplendent for 5 for free. And in Blitz, that's often a huge deal after you just full blocked. You get that agility token, combined with your Courage. It's just 5 free damage across 2 swings. And in-game, it can be a big deal. So we're on AB3, the boots, the gloves, and the hood. I'm on Polarity now that we've had the Storm Shredder's nerf, I should say. I am on Polarity now. I do miss Oasis from time to time when it comes to Verdance and amps and all that stuff, but overall, this is more useful with the limited sideboard space. And then we're on FFS ×2. That is because I used to be on like CNC and stuff like that, but right now Prism is super popular. It's the new Prism on the old Luminaris is super popular, and having 7 poppers is pretty important. You will also notice, for those of you who have been around for a while, I used to play Decimator Great Axe and for Riptide, because I just can grind him out. Even though it doesn't make any sense with the deck, you could grind out Riptide pretty easy. It's almost an auto win on Deci, but you just don't see him enough, and having that extra 3rd popper in that spot is much, much, much more important. Okay, all right, now let's go into the main deck. I think I have this mostly sorted. So we're on Steelblade Supremacy. Remember that this is weapon gains +2 until end of turn, which means that this is a 4-value card across your 2 swings. All you have to do is get go again, but that's kind of what you're trying to do. We are on Slice and Dice ×2, because why would you not be? We're on Blade Flurry ×2, because why would you not be? We are on Unsheathed. Unsheathed. Yes, this card's so good because your first swing comes in for 2. It's got a base 2. Well, Unsheathed is just unsheathed into free swings. 1 copy of Nourishing. This bleeds us with 3 poppers, but this is your main board 1. Right? We're not Kassai. We can't chuck it over and over again. So 1 of those, and then I have a Balance. This is actually a main board card. We don't need it as much anymore, but Seeds of Tomorrow is still a thing. So I do still have it in here, and it's always just a 3-block that 1/3s. In the Swing ×2, Iron Song Response ×2. This one is very important, right? Normally, this card's kind of fallen out of favor even with me in most decks, but remember, we're trying to do the Glistening Steelblade thing. 2 sinks. I am not playing Shelter from the Storm in here, mostly because I only own 1, but I think sink probably better right now. 2, Take It on the Chins, because the card is phenomenal. And then I'm on Hit and Run Red-Blue. Glistening Steelblade. Why would I play this? Of course we're playing Glistening Steelblade. Do remember, ally friends, this still has to hit a hero. Can't do it to the allies. That would be incredible. Run Through ×2. Singing Steelblade ×2. You'll notice there's a lot of yellows in this deck, and that's because with the new lower profile that we have for Warriors, since kind of heavy hitters, but also Unsheathed and stuff like that, you really only need 2 resources many of the times, unless of course which is also, by the way, why I've been able to skew to Singing Steelblade, because a lot of times off of blue, you'll have that 1 resource floating. So this deck's gotten significantly better after heavy hitters, and then obviously with Unsheathed. Unsheathed actually allows me to take out, you'll know I'm not playing Spoils of War. So, because you don't need the copper, and, well, one more thing. All right, we're on Glint, Trot Along, Nip at the Heels, 1 copy of Provoke, 1 copy of Overpower, and then 2 Shunts. I know folks hate Shunt. I don't. I love Shunt. Don't leave home without it, especially in Blitz when you can get them down to 1 pretty consistently. All right, so that is the Dorinthea deck, the QuickkyP deck, I should say. Right now, let's go ahead and move over to my Aurora deck. I really enjoy playing Aurora. I will timestamp this as well so that you can skip to it, although, to be fair, you're already here, so there you go. So we've got Aurora. This is my Jab. So fun story on this one is the reason I have this is because the only first strike deck I was able to find at the time was Japanese one. So I have that, and it's always been my Blitz hero, Starfall, Grasp, Dyadic, Greaves. And then let's talk this. So Face Purgatory, I keep going back and forth on this in Crown. There's a lot of reasons that in Blitz, Crown is actually better. You can put something you don't necessarily want in Arsenal and then cycle it for a 5th card, like an instant or something like that, and if it doesn't work, you can cycle it. However, Face Purgatory in Blitz it's basically like, I think the best armor in Blitz is probably, well, Dynamo's is pretty good, but Scowling Fleshbag, right? And this kind of does the same thing, not quite as well, but this is right up there, right up there. Let me know in the comments if you agree or disagree with that. My tokens. Now, because remember, we have amazing armor that gives us, with AB, that gives us 6 slots for our sideboard. So we're on Arcane Polarity ×2. I am playing Written in the Stars. It works well for grinding your matches, and then Down and Dirty. So let's talk Down and Dirty and why this one instead of like FFS. So Down and Dirty works really well with her particularly to put this in Arsenal against Dromai. Okay, she does a pretty good job drawing and cycling. Being able to get this and put it in Arsenal instead of having to keep it in your hand has been really massive for this build in particular. So while I am running FFS on most of the other builds, this one is, I'm pretty certain Down and Dirty is the correct popper to run with Aurora. So that is my personal opinion, but it seems to work very well for me. All right, going into the cards, we may as well put the shiny one on top, right? This is Arcanic Shockwave. We have Burn Up Shock, 1 copy of Somersault, Electrostatic Destroy. You can see my decks, you know, it's not tricked out, but I've got some pretty sassy cards in there. E-Strike ×2, Entwine Lightning ×2, 1 copy of Exude, 2 copies of Flittering, 2 copies of Press, 1 copy of Surge, that balances out the Exude, Rabble, and then 1 copy of Scar, 2 copies of Second Strike, 2 copies of Sigil, 2 Sizzles, 2 Skizzics, 2 Snatch, 2 Static Shocks, 1 shiny Arc Lightning and 1 normal one, 1 shiny Serenade and 1 normal one, Current Funnel, and then Heaven's Claw. So 4 blue out of that with a sideboard option for a 6th if you need it. A lot of times I will bring in that 6th one, obviously in an Arcane matchup, even maybe against Florian, so that I can take a bit more of a hit. And then you'll bring in Arcanic Polarity as well, because 4 health, pretty good after you just took 1 to the face. All right, last up, let's go look at ASC. Been running ASC for a long time, but man, after Hunted, we are cooking. So let's talk. I mean, Clave. That's, yeah. Oh, gee, why am I want to run Clave? All right, we gotta get that. Cool. Now let's talk this card. So the only reason I'm running this is because it gives me another reaction on board. So I probably should have pulled the card up, but Bonds, it'll be down at the bottom here. Bonds of Agony is, I have a love-hate relationship with this card, right? Because you have to have 3 or more attack reactions, and you're counting on having some of your armor on board as part of that, you get in this weird situation where if you don't have 1 in hand, a lot of times you're kind of banked out because you have Flick Knives on board and then you have to pop 1 of your others. But if you don't end up with 1, you have to pop all 3, you're kind of screwed for the rest of the game, right? So what I've found is that having Mask of Perdition for the 1 additional attack reaction on board has really helped the I should say just a throughput of successful bonds, and it leaves me less frustrated. So no, I don't like giving up Crown. Crown is amazing, but there's a logic behind the madness, okay? So we're on Black Tech, we're on Flick Knives, and I am on Shroud. I know that that's a lesser popular one, but the fact that I can pop a Shroud to pay for a Spike with Blood Rot is pretty good, especially on like a Kiss of Death or the aforementioned Bonds of Agony. Okay, I've got my tricky out tokens here. We're on Arcane Lantern, the Web Crawler, and the Back Abdomen. Okay, now actually, fun fact here, the reason Back Abdomen is what I have here is because I actually don't have the headpiece. So I would be running the headpiece, but I do not have that. And like I said, hey, this be paper. Then run 1 copy of Death Touch, and then 2 copies of Oasis, which is what I need over Polarity in here. Or also that Death Touch is a baby popper. All right, Double Trouble. So I wanted to lead with this one because I've been going back and forth constantly whether or not this is the right include or Art of Desire Red. Art of Desire Red is great for the draw, but Double Trouble in Blitz. So I'm convinced that Art of Body is better in CC, and I think Double Trouble is better in Blitz, just because of the +2. It's not about the cards, it's about the +2. You don't get any on-hit bonus, but you're just throwing more damage, and you can also have some weird edge cases where you take the mantle, or just take the mantle, where you can take the mantle into this and get just an S-ton of value out of it, right? Even off of like a blue. It's really sneaky. Run 2 CNCs. This is both obviously a Codex play as well as poppers. 2 Infiltrates. 2 Just to Nix. Fun fact, this is the spoiler card that LSS sent me. It's the actual one, the shiny one. Kiss of Death ×2. Leave No Witnesses ×2. Mark of Black Widow ×2. Orb Weaver Spinneret. Oh my god, what a good card. 2 Pain in the Backsides. 2 Razor's Edge. I am still on sync. Spike with Blood Rot. This is the only payable attack reaction we have. Tarantula Toxin. So dirty. I am on the Toxicity play. Also so dirty. 2 Frailties. 2 Mantles. Also, fun fact, that's also a spoiler card that they sent me. That's the actual one they sent. That's kind of neat. Bonds of Agony ×2. Infect ×2. Persuasive Prognosis ×2. And then Shred ×2 to round it out. So those are the decks I'm playing literally right now. We went to the bar the other night and we're just jamming some test reps, and these were the decks. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, leave me a comment. If you're not around anymore, then don't. But either way, thanks for joining. Like I said, just wanted to do something a little fun. Let's get the other one out here. Coffee cheers and go Commando.